King Pigeon Ekapada Rajakapotasana. We'll have Gabo show the pose. Let's go over how to get into our pose. Gabo will take pigeon prep here. So let's start with the front leg as an external rotation. He's actively pressing the tops of the feet. So his foot is flexed and his toes are flexed as well. His hips are squared. His chest is forward to start. He'll bend the back leg. He'll reach around with the same arm, work to the inside of the foot, and grab the big toe. Now from here, he's grabbing the toe, and he has to flip his elbow down and then all the way up and around. Good. He reaches forward through his chest, reaches his other arm up. He's walking his hands up the foot as much as he can. Elbows hug in, chest is forward. And then from there, if he feels stable, he can bring his head back. Beautiful. And then he'll gently release. Great. So let's go over some common misalignments in the pose, and then we'll work with some props as well. As with our pigeon prep, a common tendency in this pose is to shift the weight into your bent leg hip and then open up the hips. Now, at first that will help you perhaps grab your back foot, but when you work and transition into the back bend, it's going to be pulling at your SI joint and also taking it more into a twist and not the extension of the spine. So one thing that you can do, if that sounds like you, is to place a rolled up blanket underneath your legs, especially if your pelvis does not descend all the way down. Gabo's really open through his spine, and so his pelvis just easily comes down. But for most of us, if it's going to look something like a lot higher like this, just having something under there to stabilize will help. So let's look at what that looks like. It's also nice because you have something to press down into for stability. Great. Now, the second barrier, of course, is getting the flipped grip. And so we can use a strap here to help us. Now, the grip and the flip of the arm will actually be the same. So from here, he takes the strap, he goes down with the elbow comes all the way up, and this shoulder is an external rotation, and the shoulder blade is in our upward rotation. From there, he can lift the top arm. He'll bring the arm, actually, Gabo, I'll have you show the elbow first. So you might be right there, and that's fine, and you would just breathe right there. You're still getting the same rotation through the shoulder blades. From here, he can begin to walk his hand all the way down, maybe grab the wrist at that point, maybe the other hand, or maybe the strap. Now from there, he can just pause here, really work the chest forward, begin to open up his throat. One thing that I have noticed when you're about this close is sometimes the strap is getting in your way because you'll be actively pushing the foot into the strap and it creates more distance. And so when I see a student this close, I actually tell them it's about time to get rid of that strap and to start thinking foot to head rather than just head to foot. And oftentimes that is enough to just close the gap there. Beautiful. I'll have you release on out. I'll grab the strap for you. Now, another thing in this pose here, if you're working with a strap and a blanket, you might even need a block here underneath this hand for stability. So just get yourself as propped up as you need to work this pose. We're going to show you something at the wall that might also help in this posture. So you'll set up in your pigeon prep pose here, and you've got the wall out in front of you to help really work that back bend, very similar to the stretch we did in your prep video of the cobra at the wall is kind of what's happening here. Now from here, he can bend his back leg, reach around with one arm. He keeps his arm in an external rotation. He'll work to flip his grip. So remember, the elbow goes down and all the way up and around. I'll stabilize you there. Okay, and then from here, he's got that wall, right? He can push off the wall and start to come into his king pigeon. He grabs his foot. Beautiful. And then the wall is there as you come out. Now remember, any stage along the way, if you're still using your props with your strap and everything, you can also still use the wall in this way. We'll see you in the next video.